Hi there, Dr. Angela Darragh, here to give you a few tips on what happens if you start coughing. There's a lot that it could be, as we know, allergies, standard cold flu, or the scary coronavirus situation that we are all making sure we're braced for. One of the simple things that you can do is a steam inhalation. This is important, especially if you have a dry cough, because what we want to do, most of all, especially if this is a coronavirus situation, is get mucus out of the body. I found that if you just go old school, take a tea kettle, pour it into a ceramic bowl, add a few essential oils, particularly eucalyptus and peppermint, I find are really nice at opening these airways. Put a towel over your head, leave that tea kettle next to you, and breathe in the steam as much as you can. Breathe it in through your nose. You could breathe out through either your nose or your mouth. If you start coughing, that's okay. What we really want is for you to be able to cough up phlegm. Practically, it's the easiest thing to just spit right into your water bowl. Sounds a little gross, but if you want, put a trash can next to you. Occasionally, you'll need to take a little bit of cool air, because if you're doing it right, it's going to feel a little too hot for a little too long. But I want you to hang out and hang in there for at least 20 minutes, because if we don't breathe all the way deeply and get that steam deep into the lungs, we can't actually purge out the gunk that we need to get done. Particularly for allergies, a neti pot is very useful. A basic saline solution is good at washing the pollen out of your nose so it doesn't irritate you. It doesn't sound that far of a cry if really you're just getting out what's itching you, right? But again, sometimes people don't do things enough. So we want you to do that at least twice a day. I like vitamin A to soothe all of the mucus lining and to help us for antiviral properties, as well as helping the tissue heal. You can add a couple drops of vitamin A into your neti solution. Just make sure you shake it really good so you don't have any clumps in there. Obviously, use filtered water. Don't put parasites in your nose. Use clean water for your neti pot, as you'll find on the internet when it terrifies you that you're going to get a brain infection. You'll be okay. Use filtered water, okay? So, another thing that I want you to know is that the lungs are accessible from the back. Often we apply things for our lungs to our chest, one, because we can reach it, and two, it's all we've ever been taught. But actually you can access the lungs much more efficiently from the backside. Between the shoulder blades and all the way down, as far down as the ribs go, that's where I want you to use applications. What should you apply to the lungs? Well, you need somebody to help you, most likely, to reach these areas. So make sure you found somebody that can help you. I really like peppermint oil because it is anti-inflammatory and it's very, very easily absorbed into the tissues. It helps you open up how well you can breathe. You do have to cut it with something, a little bit of coconut oil, just to make sure it's not too strong. But peppermint oil is highly useful as far as opening up those airways. Tiger balm is also pretty useful. The ingredient in there that's most helpful is camphor. Camphor is a bit of a red color and it's really useful at opening up the lungs. Old school, we use what we call mustard seed packs, a little difficult to acquire, but really what it's doing is drawing new blood to the surface. What I would really prefer, particularly if you have a caregiver, is that somebody takes hot water, warm water. You put dish towels or hand towels about the right size into that warm water, wring them out, stack them, put a blanket on top, let that heat soothe that person. And then you also have a bucket of cool water with towels in there, and you wring those out after 5 minutes of warm. So warm application, a blanket, make sure you tuck around this area, okay? If the person's neck is exposed, you're not quite doing it right, you need to make sure that you use a towel or something as though it's a scarf to make sure that they're nice and warm and insulated. You apply that heat because fevers are helpful. Not everybody's strong enough to get a fever. But if you increase the heat, you increase the enzyme activity and you can help melt that mucus away. 5 minutes of warm, 2 minutes of cold. take ice cold water, so there should be ice in the bowl with your dish towels. Wring them out as well as you can. Replace the warm with the cold, put a blanket on, and leave that for 2 minutes. It's going to be quite invigorating. It's really exciting. And again, you probably do need a caregiver to help you get this done. So 5 minutes warm, 2 minutes of cold. The most important rule is always end on cold. Always, 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 always end on cold. Probably 3 cycles is sufficient to help you. This is called contrast hydrotherapy. You can do it to the front side in order to impact what we call the bronchioles, these tubes right here. These are big airway passages to help you get into the lungs. And then another piece that's really important, although it might provoke a cough, that's okay, is we want you to train on how to actually breathe in deeply. Okay, when we're under stress, we're like, it's not effective for what we need to do. The diaphragm muscle is shaped like an umbrella. When you breathe in all the way down, you bring the air all the way deep into the bases of the lungs. The piece that's killing people is the mucus accumulation in the base of the lungs. This is really, really important to break it down. What's going to break that down? Heat. The peppermint oil is helpful. And then orally, iodine, NAC, which stands for N-acetylcysteine, but it just goes by NAC. Those 2 things are probably still available. I stopped recommending vitamin C right now. You guys all know that, find it great. But the iodine and the NAC are specifically useful for making the mucus thin. Thin out the mucus and then get it out. Do not use cough-suppressing medications, and by all means, never use anything that's going to reduce your fever. Never, ever, for any reason, reduce a fever with an oral medication. If you're concerned, you use cool water. You can set a bath to roughly 85 degrees, and you can reduce your fever that way. Another tool is our cold wet socks therapy. I'm sure you can Google it to find some other helpful little ways to get it done, but the long and short of it is you want to warm the feet. You can do that after a nice warm bath, or you can do a foot bath. I'm also finding, by the way, that if you add salt to your foot bath, you can help ground yourself from some of this chaotic energy that's out there. Sounds a little goofy, but there are a lot of electrons in your feet. Many acupuncture meridians are nurtured by the feet. So this warm saltwater foot bath is useful. So warm the feet, and then you have socks in your little ice water bucket. Wring them out, put them on, put dry socks on top, preferably wool, lay down, go to bed. You will do your best healing asleep. Do your absolute best to sleep as much as possible. If coughing is disrupting your sleep, make sure you do that steam inhalation to cough out as much mucus as you can before bed. These are things you want to do throughout the day. You don't want to just do it once or twice a day if you are actually in acute crisis. And if you are in acute crisis, please, please, please visit our website, stopfeelinglikecrap.com, and schedule yourself a visit with me so that I can help you organize your own nature cure protocol. Hydrotherapy is a really important piece, but there are many things that we can do to enhance your vitality, and I don't know which one is best for you until I hear your story. So please, set up your appointment so that we can help you get better. We cannot have you compromised right now.